As it stands, the last active art record is not really meaningful because it's just the time when the login session was created. What we want the created art field to do is to literally mean what the name is. That is the last time the user was active on our application. So we need a way to track users' activities on our application and update the last active art field accordingly. And the easiest way to do that is to make use of a middleware, and that is what we'll be using in this lesson. Let's start by creating the middleware. Is make middleware, and I'm going to call the middleware track last active art. Then we need to register the middleware inside the kernel.cs file. I'll be registering the middleware as a global middleware because we want it to run at every request. That way we can track all users' activities. I'm going to register it after the silent auth middleware because we want to track the activities of only logged in users. Import app middleware track last active art. Then we can add the logic for the middleware. First, we are going to pull in auth and session. Then we can use the relationship we defined between the user model and the session model. Await auth.user.related, that is the session's relationship dot query, where the session ID is equals to the current session ID. Then we update the last active art field and we will set it to the current time. So date time dot now. Then we'll convert it to ISO string. I'm going to save to reformat. So what we are doing here is we get the authenticated user, then we use the sessions relationship we defined on the user model to query the sessions table where the ID field matches the current session ID, and if there is a match, we will update the last active art field to the current time. Now let's check it out in the browser. This is my current session. Take note of the time when I refresh. You notice the time changes. Now we are tracking the last active art correctly. To ensure that this is actually working, I'm going to sign in on another browser. So this is Safari, and I'm getting an error loading the application. Cannot read properties of undefined related. And that is because, remember I said the user needs to be logged in for us to track his or her activities. And we are not performing any check to ensure that the user is actually logged in. So to fix that, we need to check if the user is logged in before doing this. We can use the check method on the auth object. So let me cut this. The condition is going to be await auth.check. The check method will return a boolean that is true or false, whether the user is logged in or not. So if the user is logged in, then we can perform the tracking we had earlier. So I'm going to head back to the browser and refresh. Now we are getting another error still related to not being able to get the authenticated user. And if we take a look at the class, this is where the error is occurring. That is, unable to call the related method on undefined, which makes sense because to access the sessions page, we need to be logged in. But on Safari, we are not logged in and we are trying to access the sessions page. So to fix that, we need to apply the auth middleware to the sessions route. Now, if we refresh, we should be redirected to the login page. And if I log in, everything should be working as before. Now, we are successfully tracking the user last active art. But it will make sense for users to be able to see more user-friendly dates because looking at this, I'm not sure most users will be able to make sense out of it. And if at all they are even able to make sense out of it, they will need to properly look at it to do so. So let's update that. So inside the sessions page, we are going to display it in a user-friendly format. Remember that the last active art is a type of logzone. That means we have access to the logzone methods or properties on it. And the one we are interested in is to relative. If we head back to the browser and refresh, we see that the records are now presented in a more user-friendly way. At least we can see that, okay, I was last active at 0 seconds ago. I was last active at on this browser, which is Safari, 3 seconds ago, and so on.